Alright guys, so I went ahead and zoomed in so you can get a better look at my face. I didn't color correct. I have some pretty, you know, gruesome dark circles from lack of sleep. Hashtag college life. So I went ahead and loaded information about the foundation on my phone. So it is the Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation, and I picked up the shade 420. I usually use people like Jackie Aina as my shade reference to some extent, you know, kind of play around, but it usually hits the mark. Even though in her video she preferred 410, I personally felt like 410 was a smidgen too light, so I went ahead and picked up 420. The foundation comes in 40 shades, from the lightest of ivories to the darkest of ebony undertoned. A soft matte longwear foundation with a buildable medium to full coverage in a boundary breaking range of 40 shades. So one, in terms of packaging, I really love this frosted bottle look. Like, can we talk about this, y'all? Like, I know I'm late, I know it's been out for a minute, but okay, this is the first time I'm getting it, okay? And I am really liking this packaging. I'm allowed to be excited right now. So I am gonna apply the foundation with a flat buffer brush, my favorite foundation brush. It never fails when it comes to liquid foundation, so I'm gonna try and see how this works with this foundation. Okay. 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 Ooh, y'all, I like this. Okay, it's not as orange as I thought it was gonna be. It's pretty, it's like, this is definitely not full coverage, but it's your skin but better. And I really, really like it. I think that'll be really nice for a springtime, nice transitional piece. So I really, really like this foundation. It is true to name when it mentions the term soft matte, because it's definitely matte. It's not a dewy finish, but it's also not super matte. I think that's why they use the term soft matte. I don't know if you guys can see that as I'm buffering that in. Now it is a little warmer than I am, just a little bit right now, because you know it's winter where I'm at. Unfortunately, it's still cold. There's possibly snow in the forecast. So this is definitely my winter shade, but I mean my winter skin. So I am a smidgen lighter in the winter, but nonetheless, I do think the formulation is really, really nice, and it really is soft. It looks a little orange on camera, but it's not in real life. It has more of a very, very neutral kind of undertone in real life, in the camera in front of me. So as far as covering up my dark circles, I think it did a pretty decent job in terms of pigment. That's really nice, guys. It also covered up all of my dark spots on my face as well. I'm not having any creasing happening in the mouth, even if I move around. This is really nice, guys. And I don't see any of my dark marks coming through. It definitely has a matte feel to it, but it's not a hard matte, you know? I keep blending because it still feels so soft and movable on the skin, but when I touch it, and it doesn't, oh, let me bring my mirror closer. It feels movable on the skin, and it feels like soft on the skin. It doesn't have that matte kind of tug onto the skin like a lot of matte foundations do. Like my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte, that's a rough foundation, but once you get her on, it's Gucci and it's good. But this, it doesn't feel that way. It definitely feels nice, and I'm actually happy I went with the 420 actually. Even though it does seem a little warmer, now that it's settled in my skin, I think I like this a lot better than I would have liked a 410. I keep looking at myself, guys. I think this looks really, really good. It blended out really, really nicely with the buffer brush. So I would suggest, if you are trying this foundation, to try it with something that'll buff it into the skin. I'm not sure how it'll behave with one of those flatter foundation brushes. I usually don't like those. I think buffer brushes give a lovely, lovely application. I've never tried a beauty blender, so maybe trying this with a sponge will also work. I think this texture and this formulation of a foundation will work with a sponge. So if you're a sponge girl, I do think this will work, but my personal favorite is a buffer brush because I really think it gives a seamless and kind of a more airbrushed airbrushed finish to the foundation. But all in all, I do think this is nice. I don't see any of my dark circles. It really does look like your skin, but better, you know? And this is definitely medium coverage, don't get me wrong. And it's medium to full coverage, because I think it's somewhere smack dead in the middle, but this looks really, really good. All right, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my face off camera, and I'm gonna let you know how the foundation plays around in conjunction with other products like concealer and setting powder, and then I'm gonna give a more in-depth thought on this application process. All right, guys, so this is my finished look. On my eyes, I have just a couple shades out of the Pure BoxyCharm collab this month, or well, for last month, I guess, for the March box. And then I have on the Neutrogena, is it Neutrogena? I completely lied to you guys. I have on the Maybelline Fit Me concealer in the color 30 Cafe, and I used my trusty old Black Radiance contour palette to contour the sides of my face and the bridge of my nose. For blush, I have on the e.l.f. Baked Blush palette in the color Dark, and then I have the Vintage highlighter on. On my lips, I have on two lip glosses. I have on the Rimmel London Oh My Gloss in the color, it is in the color 260 My Eternity, and then I mixed that in with the Black Radiance Perfect Tone lip gloss, and this is in the color Urban Nude, and then I lined my lips with the Kiss Professionals lip liner in the color Burgundy. So as for how this foundation works with other things, I do think that the concealer and everything settled really nicely into the foundation. One thing keeps coming to mind when I think about this foundation, and it is your skin but better. Like, it is not a heavy duty foundation that is going to completely change, like, you know, the skin tone or texture of your face, but it will emphasize on whatever natural beauty your face has. I really think that the Your Skin But Better look is perfect for this upcoming summer. So if you are looking for a perfect spring foundation, I would definitely suggest this. I think I reviewed this at the perfect time, because I don't think I would like this foundation in like super heavy summer going into fall, but this transitional cool phase in spring, I really do think that it will benefit those girls who are looking for a transitional foundation for this time of year. Not to say that I don't think this foundation will work in like the summer or something, I just think it's the perfect time to try this foundation now. As far as blendability, it blended really easily into the skin. Other things like my concealer blended really nicely on top. I think my highlight ended up sitting really nicely on top as well, and I think my blush, I think everything melted really nicely into the foundation. To set my face, I used the MAC Prep and Prime, and I think once I put that on, it really helped everything to kind of blend seamlessly, and I'm just really happy with this foundation, guys. I think all in all, I think it's worth the $34. With the $34, you get over a fluid ounce. Now, I really think that is great for the price. It's not too expensive, but it's still leaning towards the high-end side of things, so I think the ingredients will tend to be better, and I think, you know, in terms of shade range and the quality, I also think it'll be better than your average drugstore foundation. All right, guys, that's it for this review slash first impressions of the Fenty Pro Filter foundation. I really like this foundation, guys. All in all, I'm gonna rate it a full 10 out of 10. I'm about to really get my use out of this foundation, and you will see it in much more tutorials because I really like how it looks. If you like this review and you want to see more, make sure to leave a comment down below and hit that like button. Make sure to share with your peeps, subscribe. All right, guys, until next time, peace.